Honorable Chair, Honorable Ministers, Commissioners and staff of MAIF. My name is Honorable Musinguzi Patrick, Kashari North Constituency. I'm a member of this committee. Maybe for your info, Madam Chair, I wanted to bring my interests. I've been working with MAIF for the last 2 years of a project called Cassava Project Uganda Limited. So I don't want it to appear like it is. So I wanted to make it known to everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair, Honorable Ministers and Honorable colleagues. Derek Orone is my name, Member of Parliament, Gogonyo Constituency, and I'm the Vice Chairperson of this committee.
Yes, Amelia Chambate, MP Mawokota North, and I chair this committee. We have a brief agenda here. I'll make a few remarks. Then the ministry will make responses to the issues that are raised by the committee. Then there will be interaction questions, clarifications, and observations by honorable members. And then an agreement on outstanding matters, timelines, and the modalities of continued engagement. And then any other business and closing remarks, if any. Have you introduced yourself? And staff. Yes, please introduce yourselves. Please move forward. You can enjoy those seats while we wait for the members of it coming. Okay.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Good morning, Honorable members and colleagues. My name is Ruth Uwize Jabo. I'm a senior economist.
Morning, Chair. I'm Ali Rusiba, a police analyst attached to this committee.
Morning, Chair. My name is Asa Fontanda, Principal Legislative Council, serving this committee.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Ajilo Mbeti, Legislative Council.
One of you has to move, honorable members. Yes, Clark.
Good Chair, good morning, honorable ministers and all present. I'm Maurice Muhumuza, clerk to the committee.
Thank you very much. So I'll begin with my few remarks. Each one has got a copy, I suppose. Have you given out copies? So you're most welcome, Honorable Minister. We've been waiting for this for some time, and I'm glad you've given us an opportunity today. It's a pity that we will have to go through quickly, briefly, because we have to move up country, but we felt we couldn't move up country before meeting you, because all the issues we're going to find there are actually concerned with your department, with your sector. So that's why we felt incumbent for us to meet, we discuss, so that we go with an informed position of the state of the agriculture sector. So I do welcome you and honorable ministers and the entire delegation from the ministry, whom the committee is pleased to receive for this, our first substantive engagement with the ministry in the 12th Parliament. The Ministry of Agriculture and Industry and Fisheries should be the first ministry to sit with this committee. Is only fitting, given the place of the agriculture sector in the livelihoods, food security, and prosperity of the people we jointly serve. I thank Honourable Minister for honouring this and for the readiness with which the Ministry has prepared to engage us. I trust that this meeting will set the tone for the productive, candid, and mutually respectful working relationship throughout the life of our Parliament. Before I commence with our business today, permit me to record the committee's sincere appreciation to the Ministry for its support to our recently concluded induction. In particular, the committee is grateful to Honorable Minister of State for Agriculture, Honorable Desire Muhoza, who honored us by presiding over the closing of our induction workshop at Speak Resort, Munyonyo, on 22nd August. We do not take this gesture for granted. It signaled at the very outset of our work the spirit of partnership in which we hope to proceed. Honorable Mugabe, welcome you. Please introduce yourself briefly so that I could continue.
Thank you, Venerable Chair. Colleagues, my name is Mugabe Robert Ndugwa, MP of Buvuma Islands, but also the Minister of State for Fisheries.
Thank you very much. You're most welcome. So the purpose of today's engagement, the oversight authority of the committee is anchored in the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, and in particular in Article 90, and is exercised under the rules of procedure of Parliament, which place the Ministry of Agriculture and More Industry and Fisheries and its agencies within the committee's jurisdiction. In the ordinary course, that mandate extends to the ministry's policies, the budget, and ministerial policy statement, its performance and value for money, the legislation referred to us, and the oversight of the programs. The central business of today's meeting, however, is specific. At its meeting of 5th August 2026, the committee resolved that honorable members should submit through the Secretariat the issues and challenges affecting agriculture in their respective constituencies for the response of the Minister. Those submissions have since been consolidated with the sector challenges, documented before the committee, organized thematically, and transmitted to the Honorable Minister. It is the Ministry's response to those issues that this committee has convened principally to receive. What are the issues before the Minister? Number one is water for production and climate resilience. Irrigation and water harvesting infrastructure in the face of prolonged drought, erratic rainfall, and general climate variability, including the status of the irrigation and water for production law recently passed by Parliament, the criteria by which its projects were allocated, and the plan to extend irrigation to the drought-prone areas. Number two is mechanization and agricultural infrastructure. Affordable access to tractors and tillage equipment for smallholder farmers, district level access to earth-moving equipment for valley tanks, reservoirs, canals, and water conservation, and investment in feeder roads, storage, cold chain, and agro-processing infrastructure to stem the high post-harvest losses. The third one is seed, planting materials, and other inputs. The Ministry's policy position and the supply of seedlings and planting materials, on which members sought clarification following a statement made on the floor of the House, and the measures to ensure the timely, affordable, and quality supply, with particular concern to coffee seedlings, the high cost of fertilizers, and persistently low productivity, the scourge of counterfeit agro inputs, and last mile delivery to the village level. The fourth point is the role of members in input distribution. The Ministry's position on the proposal that MPs participate in the last mile distribution of inputs, including seedlings, hoes, and tractors, alongside the PDM structures. The other point is extension, veterinary services, and crop health. The recruitment and facilitation of extension and veterinary personnel, surveillance and control of crop pests and diseases, including fall armyworm, striga weed, and cassava mosaic, and brown streak, and the control of livestock diseases. On the last, the committee expects a specific response on the piglet supplied under the National Oil Palm Project that reportedly carried swine fever, occasioning losses in Kalangala. That is a very strong issue in Parliament, actually, and on whether the ministry will take responsibility and compensate the affected parties. The other point is fisheries and aquaculture. The operationalization of the Fisheries and Aquaculture Act, the regulations remaining unissued nearly a year after its enactment, the position of subsistence fishermen under the law, the review of authorized vessel numbers on Lakes George, Choga, and Albert against enforcement on the ground, the promotion of fish farming, and its status of the abandoned EU-funded Aqua Park project. The other point is markets, value addition, and farmer incomes. Measures to strengthen markets and value chains, reduce dependence on middlemen, and improve the farmers' bargaining power, and specifically the persistent decline in tobacco prices in West Nile region. The factors behind it and the alternative enterprises under consideration to safeguard the affected households. The other point is land tenure and security of produce. Measures to secure land tenure and curb the land grabbing and evictions that discourage long-term agriculture investment, and coordinated measures with the security agencies against the rampant theft of coffee, cattle, and other produce. We have an issue of palm oil expansion in Kalangala. The plan to extend palm oil growing to Chamswa County, in line with the presidential directive, that both Bujumba and Chamswa benefit, including the proposed reallocation of the 52 billion shilling loan reflows from Bujumba to Chamswa. The other point is finance, inclusion, and delivery. Interventions to widen farmers' access to affordable finance and agriculture insurance, and to strengthen cooperative and producer organization programs to draw the youth and women into agriculture and agribusiness, and the streamlining of procurement, whose delays too often leave the farmer to bear the ultimate loss. So what do we expect as a committee from the response? On each of these matters, the committee looks to the honorable ministers for responses that are specific, candid, and where appropriate, accompanied by clear timeline and commitments. Our members carry these concerns directly from the farmers, herders, and fisher folk who sent them to this house. General assurances, however well-intended, will not suffice where a concrete answer is possible. Where a matter cannot be concluded today, the committee will be content to receive a firm undertaking and a date by which a full response will follow. I would add that the committee approaches this engagement as a partner, not as an adversary. Where the ministry's hand ought to be strengthened in legislation, in budget advocacy, or in holding implementing agencies to account, it will find the committee willing. We are willing to do that, and we are committed to that. What we ask in return is candor and follow through. So, yes. So we've gone through this, and we've gone through the business, order of the business, you've seen that. So procedurally, I think that's that. Honorable members. So we may wish to note the following, that the proceedings of the meeting will be recorded and minuted by the committee's secretariat. And the ministry's written response, together with any supporting documents, should be submitted to the clerk, to the committee. For the record, in the interest of time, I'll ask that interventions be focused and we keep to the time allotted to each item on the order of business. We are working on limited time, so I would like to thank you, honorable ministers, distinguished guests, and my colleagues, that the issues before us this afternoon are not just abstractions. Behind each of them stands a household whose harvest failed for want of water, a farmer who received a seedling out of season, a family in Kalangala that lost its animals, or a fishing community waiting on a law that is enacted but not yet in force. What we resolve in this room bears directly on whether those Ugandans can feed their families, educate their children, and prosper from their labor. But it's also important to look at value addition and to look at exports, because we are actually the cradle of the economy as agriculture. I thank you so much for listening to me, and I look forward to a result-oriented discussion. So, clerk, I would suggest you commence. So the program we have here, there are some members who have not introduced themselves. Honorable.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Honorable members, my name is Patrick Kutesa, Shadow Minister, Agriculture. My apologies of coming late. Thank you.
Shadow Minister, yes.
How many minutes per meeting? Okay, so we've gone through, we've already covered 4 items, so we want to move to Honorable Minister of Agriculture. Your response, your remarks, and then we'll go into discussions or responses to the matters raised herein. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I will be calling her Madam Ameria. It's a name that is in my head, so we called her Madam for a long time. So it's actually respect on my side. So when you say Madam Ameria, it's something we are used to calling her. Thank you. So, Vice Chair, Honorable colleagues, first of all, congratulations on being elected to the 12th Parliament. I want to thank you for finding time to meet us, and I want to apologize. I think we missed each other the other week and the other week. I tried to get to the chair. I think the numbers couldn't connect, but I got the vice chair. So I want to thank you for your patience. And thank you, Madam Chair, for the wonderful reception and for the detailed communication touching the areas of interest. The questions you raised, I want to thank you for being so structured and formal. You sent us questions in advance. We took time with my team, the honorable ministers and the technical team to, our PS is away, is in Karamoja with the head of service. They're also doing some monitoring, and we excused him to be away. So I want to say that we have detailed responses which our acting PS will take you through. But maybe before she does that, I want to assure you that as we begin the term, I want to assure the committee of a very cordial working relationship. The Oversight Committee of Parliament, from the experience I've been in cabinet, is like your doctor. It's like your doctor. They tell you where things have issues. Madam Jane, I am in the committee. Chief, I'll call you back, Madam. You speak to the chair. So there is something we have in on the order paper for the bill. I'll also brief you about it. Yes. So maybe just give me a minute and I said.
There are some officers who didn't introduce themselves in from Ministry of Agriculture. There was someone or two people who came in late. Yeah. Yes. Nice meeting you. You're welcome. Then members of the media, you're all most welcome. Which houses are you representing? Yes? Okay, I salute you. Yeah. Thank you for taking time to be with us. You're most welcome. So we're still waiting. There's some members who have come. Honorable, you're most welcome. Please come and introduce yourself.
Good morning, Chair and members. I'm Birunje Caroline Nanyondo, MP Chamuswa County, a member of the Committee on Agriculture. Thank you.
Oh, Madam. Honorable, you spoke very softly. They haven't heard. Have you heard?
I'm sorry, Chair.
No, it's okay.
I'm Birunje Caroline Nanyondo, MP Chamuswa County, a member of this committee. Thank you.
Maybe we'll continue. Should we continue? Yes, now that the honorable ministers are here, you can continue with the responses.
The minister had guided that maybe the undersecretary, should read our responses as he finalizes.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Opening remarks, I think I don't really know what is in the head of the minister. So it is.
But you can give yours, you're also a minister. Give yours as you.
The minister is back.
My apologies. We are trying to clear the issue of certificate of the bill. So the speaker was pushing us to have it. So Madam Chair, I was saying we look forward to working well with the committee. We look forward to sharing with you our internal issues, challenges. And one of the challenges I can straight away tell you is that we have so much demand for services from the ministry, because the big 70% of the economy is dependent on the sector. But as you know, especially colleagues who could have been on this committee in the other parliament, our funding is really small. The GOU component is more or less for salaries and for fuel. The big part of the development budget is donor projects. So it's always a push. Donors have their interests of priorities, and we also have priorities. So we'll be working with you to struggle and be clear on what we can do for the country. And I want to thank you for planning to go up country to monitor. The ministry has, well, it's big. We have veterinary, we have the livestock department, we have the fisheries department, we have the crop department. And we also have the departments of coffee, which were added on to us after rationalization. We have the Department of Dairy Services, which was formerly the DDA. We have the Department of Cotton, which was formerly CDO. There was also Department NADS transformed into something like Business Development Services. What's it called? Agriculture Investments. So the ministry is big. So as you do inspections and monitoring, let us know where you want us to send teams to take you around. Then we also have two agencies that remained, NAGRIC for breeding and NARO for agricultural research. I encourage you to take time and visit all the government ranches, the government research stations in different sub-regions of Uganda, and feel free to interrogate us and our departments on all that we need to know. So with those remarks, Madam Chair, allow me to invite our Undersecretary to take through the responses as per the issues you raised, and then thereafter have an engagement with the colleagues. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Chair and members, thank you, Honorable Ministers. On the issue of climate change, drought and irrigation, and water for production, Honorable Chair and members, the issue of irrigation is a critical concern that as a sector, we have identified and flagged as one of the core priorities needed to support and stabilize agricultural production. A number of irrigation projects that are small, medium, and large, funded by different loans, have been developed. For example, we have Achomai and Atari irrigation schemes that are some of the recently developed projects, with Achomai completed and Atari at 65% completion. As you may know, this irrigation function has been overlapping between Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Water and Environment. So other equally loan-funded irrigation projects have been and are still being implemented by Ministry of Water. For example, the recently passed loan project on solar-powered irrigation. Secondly, Honorable Chair, as a way of harmonization and ruling out duplication of roles, Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Water and Environmental political and senior management teams met and agreed on a working framework that is complementary. Going forward, all irrigation projects will be jointly implemented by the two ministries in accordance with the harmonization strategy that will be agreed upon. Third, in addition to the irrigation projects funded by the loans, the ministry has constructed and rehabilitated valley tanks, dams, and fish ponds in water-stressed areas, that is the drought and dry spell affected areas and cattle corridor areas, and has prioritized the deployment of heavy earth-moving equipment sets for excavation of water for agricultural production facilities. over 6,657 small, medium irrigation schemes with installations of solar energy equipment in 137 districts so far. Also, valley tanks and dams have been developed in various areas, including Karamoja, Teso, northern, western, and central Uganda, among others. 4, these serve the purpose of irrigation, water, livestock, and aquaculture. The details are attached in Annex A, which is in page 23. 5, regarding the criteria for allocating projects, Honorable Chair. 1, it's based on demand-driven, with requests, applications received from farmers and farmer groups. Secondly, it's distributed through affirmative action on non-water stressed areas, e.g. the Kato Corridor districts. Third, it's based on recommendations from the districts, like elected leaders, community leaders do the recommendations. And 4, through partnership with community development organizations like churches. Honorable, do I continue with all the responses, Honorable Chair? Or we?
Yes, do all of them, then we can ask questions at the end. Agreed?
Honorable Chair, thank you.
Yeah.
On issue number 2 was on agricultural mechanization, tractors. Our response, Honorable Chair, is that 1, the strategy for mechanized agriculture has 2 components. The first one is procuring where budget allows appropriate mechanization equipment, that is tractors of different sizes and all the value chain accessories, and distributing it to organized farmer cooperatives and other profiled nuclear farmers as per established demand. Cabinet is yet to discuss and conclude on the strategy for cost sharing for sustainability purposes. B, all farmers and not all farmers and farmer groups, especially the small and medium, have the capacity to own and maintain mechanization equipment on the farm. All they need is access to appropriate mechanization equipment for use during season and return it to avoid heavy recurring operational costs of them and maintenance. The strategy, therefore, adopted here is to establish 20 fully equipped and functional mechanization and farm service centers to cover all the sub-regions of Uganda. At each mechanization center, there will be all farm power equipment, including big earth-moving ones, for bush clearing, diagnostic labs, and seed inspection offices where possible. The challenge has been funding for these centers. The ministry budget, as you may know, as our committee, is largely dominated by external funding as opposed to government of Uganda. And so the flexibility to implement projects quickly is not there. However, in this term, every project, new and old, is going to prioritize these centers. For example, Climate Smart is now going to construct and fully equip 3 centers and will add on another 3 in the second phase. See, when these centers are operational, it will no longer be a requirement for any farmer or group to own a tractor on farm and therefore suffer associated costs of operation and maintenance. They will only be accessing them at mechanization centers at a subsidized fee on a use and return basis. Honorable Chair and members, issue number 3 was on earth-moving equipment for agriculture infrastructure. Honorable Chair and members, our response is that the ministry operates various assorted sets of heavy earth-moving equipment at Namalere National Mechanization Referral Center to meet the demand of farmers countrywide. We currently have a fleet of 5 sets of earth-moving equipment, which is always on high demand and ever deployed in the field. As the budget permits, that is both GOU and donor and loans, we keep expanding the fleet, and our target is to reach 20 sets, with 1 set stationed at every mechanization and farm service center. Honorable Chair and members, issue number 4 was on quality seeds and planting materials, in particular coffee seedlings. Our response, Honorable Chair and members, is that As you well know, until financial year 2022-23, government distributed free seedlings of coffee, maize, cassava cuttings, and others through NADS and UCDA, that is Coffee and Operation Wealth Creation. However, with the adoption of PDM policy framework, all the budgets previously funded procurement and distribution of free seedlings were amalgamated and transferred to PDM. This policy shift, therefore, meant that farmers were to buy seedlings of the various enterprises they choose on their own from the market using PDM loans. Consequently, the government has seized the centralized procurement and distribution of free seedlings. However, the ministry acknowledges the rising demand for coffee and maize seedlings among various farmer communities. There is a strong argument that the PDM funds alone are insufficient to cater for the high-priced coffee seedlings. As Ministry of Agriculture, we are now preparing a paper to Cabinet to seek Cabinet's approval to grant exemption to some enterprises like coffee, cocoa to be handled separately from PDM. Honorable Chair, issue number 5 is on distribution of inputs under PDM and participation of members of Parliament. Honorable Chair and colleagues Honorable Chair and members, on issue of PDM, farmers receive money and buy on their own. Nevertheless, MPs can be directly involved through their oversight role by monitoring the performance of PDM beneficiaries within their respective constituencies. Currently, there is a lack of data concerning the percentage of PDM beneficiaries who utilize the loans for their intended purpose of purchasing inputs versus those who directed the funds towards their pressing needs. On the issue of hose, the ministry implemented this activity as a one-off following a decision of Cabinet in the last term of government. When Cabinet took the decision to procure a hose in 2025, the Attorney General advised the Cabinet that the then political leaders, especially those that were in election, not to be the ones to distribute the hose, as it would tantamount to breach of electoral laws. MAIV was therefore directed by Cabinet to make sure the distribution of hose goes through the district technical systems headed by the CAOs and the production coordinators, while MPs provided oversight. Attached is the distribution list for the hose that were procured. On the issue of tractors, whenever our budget allows for their procurement, we normally distribute them based on established demand criteria. Requests from members of Parliament on behalf of their constituents and HE, the President's pledges, always take the first priority on their allocations. The challenge, however, with the distribution of tractors is that the ministry never gets any budget allocation from them. We have mainly budget allocation for the tractors. We have mainly been depending on procuring tractors under various loan projects like the National Oilseeds Project, Uganda Climate Smart Agriculture Transformation Project, the Resilient Livestock Improvement Project, which unfortunately takes so long to be procured because of the long approval processes of the lenders, that is the World Bank and the IFAD. I wish, however, to pledge to you, honorable colleagues, I'm reading on behalf of the Minister, that our ministry will work closely with the MPs and especially this committee in deciding potential beneficiaries of any agricultural value addition equipment. In addition to consulting the district technical officers, those are the CAOs and the DPOs, we shall be involving MPs to verify and validate the selected groups and cooperatives. The ministry takes note of the committee's concern regarding the involvement of members of Parliament in distribution of seeds and other agricultural inputs and appreciates the importance of an inclusive approach involving all relevant stakeholders, including area MPs, members of Parliament. Honorable Chair, issue number 6 was on fertilizers and productivity. Our response, Honorable Chair, is that government spearheaded by the HE, by HE the President is encouraging in-country production of fertilizers using our available raw materials, that is cow dung, phosphates, waste from crops, energy reserves, oil, cotton, sunflower, and others, as a measure of cost reduction. To this end, a number of investors like Intracom, Day Biopharma, Dongsang, etc. are setting up in the country, and the government has guaranteed them offtake with a plan to subsidize farmers. Cabinet, however, is yet to decide on the policy and strategy for offering this fertilizer subsidy. Honorable Chair, issue number 7 is counterfeit inputs and last mile delivery. Our response, Honorable Chair, is that the fight against counterfeit is an issue of enforcement. MAIF is trying to strengthen the agricultural police and its inspectors to increase surveillance and crack down on the unscrupulous dealers. You may have also seen a number of operations by MAIF inspectors in the past targeting vendors of counterfeits in the districts and places like Container Village. On a bigger front, however, Cabinet decided to establish the FARA, what he's been talking about, Honorable Chair, an authority that will have full power and resources to fight against counterfeits and all contaminants in food, agriculture, and veterinary inputs. The FARA bill is ready for tabling for the first reading. We are just waiting for the clerk to schedule it on the order paper. We therefore wish to request this committee in advance to handle this bill expeditiously as soon as it gets referred to the committee. Issue number 8, Honorable Chair, is on agriculture extension and veterinary services. Our response, Honorable Chair and members, is that we appreciate your concern on the inadequacy of extension services. I wish to inform the committee that the following measures have been put in place. 1, enhancing the salaries of extension workers. In 2022-23 financial year, the salary of the extension officers was doubled from around 1.2 million to 4 million for graduate scientists. 2, MAIF continues to prioritize in every budget, both GOU and donor, the procurement and distribution of vehicles and strong motorbikes to the district extension staff. For example, the ministry has so far procured and distributed a total of 200 cars and 2,650 motorcycles through projects and government of Uganda, through projects like National Oil Seed Project, AVCP, Uganda Climate Smart, and the Mechanization Department. Number 3, we continue to work with the Ministry of Local Government to push Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Public Service to provide wage to recruit more extension workers to fill the gaps. 4, we have issued a number of policy guidance circulars to district leaders and officials on how to address the issue of extension services. We have attached a copy of the last circular. Issue number 9 is on livestock disease and swine fever compensation claim. Our response, Honorable Chair, is that there is a standard protocol followed during procurement of animals and when there is an outbreak of disease in animals. The ministry first verified these animals and confirmed their health status. Following an outbreak, the ministry institutes quarantine measures to contain disease spread and also train farmers on good animal husbandry practices. This includes biosafety measures. In this particular case, these measures enable the containment of the disease. Once the quarantine is lifted, the ministry will initiate discussions with affected beneficiaries and the contractor.
That's what they told me, but I'm not yet satisfied. We're investigating more about this matter. Yes, that's their response. But we're investigating more about it. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Issue number 10 is crop pests and disease. Our response, Honorable Chair, is that the ministry agrees that pests and diseases are a common challenge. The ministry undertakes routine field surveillance and surveys to monitor the occurrence, distribution, and severity of the major crop pests and diseases, including fall armyworm, African armyworm, black coffee twig borer, the queller birds, among others. In addition, the ministry conducts plant clinics at community and village level, through which information on pests and diseases affecting crop is collected and reported. The ministry also procures and distributes chemicals, those are fungicides and pesticides, to farmers majorly for demonstration purposes, and encourages farmers to procure on their own from certified suppliers. Honorable Chair, issue number 11 is fisheries and aquaculture. Our response, Honorable Chair, is that A, the regulations are now finalized and ready for presentation to Parliament. We now request for your support for the expeditious approval once it's laid before you. B, on the matter of vessel numbers, it's true there are too many boats across all water bodies in Uganda, which has caused excessive pressure on the resources. The regulations that have been finalized provide for maximum number of vessels per water body per person. However, the ministry will review this maximum number from time to time, depending on the availability of fish stock in the water bodies. C, on subsistence fishing, the Fisheries and Aquaculture Act of 2023 and the regulations acknowledge the importance of subsistence fishing and provides for all communities to harvest up to a maximum of 10 kilograms as and when necessary. D, on the status of the EU-funded Aqua Park project, we wish to inform you that the ministry implemented the EU-supported project, which was called Promoting Environmentally Sustainable Commercial Aquaculture Project, PESCA. Among others, the project was to establish 2 aqua parks in Kalangala and Apache. However, in the course of implementation, the EU detected that the contractors had presented counterfeit performance guarantees for the design and build contracts, which led to the termination of the construction work of the 2 aqua parks. The Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development is pursuing recovery of the advanced funds. E, on the issue of fish farming to diversify income and nutrition, the ministry recognizes the importance of fish farming to contribute to diversification of income and nutrition. Fish farming is among 7 key priorities of MAIF in the current and medium term. Under the Climate Smart project, the ministry is implementing interventions in fish farming in 69 districts, and these are going to contribute towards improvement of incomes and nutrition. The ministry is also soliciting funds from partners for enhancing fish farming. Honorable Chair, issue number 12 is on roads, storage, and post-harvest infrastructure. Honorable Chair, the response is that the ministry is limited by both the issue of mandate and budget. It is not our responsibility to do roads, whether feeder or community or others. However, Cabinet and Ministry of Works allowed MAIF, through its interventions of creating farm-to-market linkages, to be working on the road chokes and transport bottlenecks along rural community farm roads that are not coded as either central or district local government roads. That is why, under some of the projects of MAIF, we undertake interventions of road chokes and farm access, connecting bridges and swamps, etc. For example, chokes under national oil palm and oil seeds projects, and those to be done in the project districts of the Climate Smart. On the cold chain and agro-processing infrastructure, MAIF has prioritized a number of interventions under donor-funded projects. We can separately provide a list of the infrastructure to be developed under the respective projects. Honorable Chair, issue number 13 is on markets, value chain, and middlemen. Our response, Honorable Chair and members, is that the question of weak bargaining power from the farmers is being addressed through the following measures. 1, strengthening farmer cooperatives by supporting them with primary processing and value addition facilities. 2, supporting large-scale commercial farmers to act as aggregation and offtake centers for the smallholder farmers under a win-win relationship. And 3, timely sharing of market information, e.g. coffee prices and milk prices and market. Honorable Chair, issue number 14 is on land tenure, that's grabbing and evictions. Honorable Chair, a comprehensive response to land grabbing, evictions, customary land tenure, disputes and boundary conflicts requires collective responsibility and coordinated action among MAIF, the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, security organs, and the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. These institutions need to strengthen mechanisms for land dispute resolution, protection of land rights, and enforcement of the law to provide secure land tenure. Honorable Chair and members, issue 15 is theft of agricultural produce and livestock. And our response, Honorable Chair, is that as earlier stated, MAIF has strengthened the agriculture policy to crack down on the thieving cartels. We are also digitizing issues of livestock movements that will reduce on theft through illegal movement of animals and other livestock. Issue number 16, Honorable Chair, is on palm oil growing, Kalangala, Bujumba, and Chamuswa counties. Honorable Chair, our response is that the Ministry acknowledges the President's directive to use the Uganda shillings 51.9 billion oil palm reflows for expansion of oil palm in Chamaso. The Ministry, the Ministry is currently engaging with the Ministry of Finance on the same, and once the funds are availed, expansion activities will commence. Honorable Chair, issue number 17 is on agricultural finance and farmer organizations. Our response, Honorable Chair, is in part A, is parish development model. The parish development model is the first government program that takes a reasonable chunk of funds to the lowest service delivery level at parish, and it largely targets the unbanked category and those with limited capacity to access security loans. Through parish circles, farmers are able to access low-interest financing for production and enterprise development. B, large-scale commercial farmers. In response to our policy proposals and requests, government through Ministry of Finance launched a new financing scheme for private large-scale commercial farmers designed to provide timely, affordable, and accessible financing resources to farmers who are at the heart of our agriculture economy at no interest. This financing mechanism is supporting private large-scale commercial farmers to produce food and animal feed security crops, that is maize, beans, soya beans, and sorghum. The scheme is implemented through government-owned financial institutions like Pride, Microfinance, Pearl Bank, and Housing Finance that provide a principal amount of Uganda shillings 176 billion, and Government of Uganda meeting the corresponding interest component of Uganda shillings 40 billion annually. This scheme will initially run for a period of 6 years, and the eligibility criteria takes into account companies, farmer cooperatives, and other formal qualifying entities with available land or engaged in large-scale farming with a minimum of 50 acres of land. Loan disbursements have been structured to align with farming cycles so that the resources can be received and utilized at the point they are most needed by the farmers. As MAIF, however, we are still engaging Ministry of Finance to review this interest-free loan facility to make it cover all activities of different value chains and not only food and feed security enterprises as is currently. C, expansion and strengthening of the agricultural credit facility. The agricultural credit facility is one of the government's flagship interventions for agriculture financing at 12%. It provides medium and long-term loans at subsidized interest rates to farmers and agro-processors through participating financial institutions under the oversight of Bank of Uganda. Chair and members, we also continue to engage Ministry of Finance and other stakeholders to ensure that we enhance the basket of SCF and, where possible, reduce the interest further and increase accessibility by farmers. Honorable Chair, issue number 18 is youth and women participation in agriculture. Our response, Honorable Chair and members, is that the youth and women programs are mainstreamed within the ministry interventions. Under the parish development model, women and youth are among the priority beneficiaries of government support for household level production and enterprise development. The program facilitates access to affordable financing, agricultural inputs, extension services, and market linkages, enabling women and youth to establish and expand viable agricultural enterprises at parish level. B, through agriculture extension and skilling programs, MAIF continues to provide technical knowledge, business development skills, and enterprise management support to women and youth. Particular emphasis is placed on high value and commercially viable enterprises, including horticulture, livestock, poultry, fisheries, aquaculture, and agro-processing, all in view of land holding. Honorable Chair, issue number 19 is procurement delays. Honorable Chair and members, the Ministry has undertaken several measures to streamline procurement processes and ensure timely implementation of agricultural projects. These include: 1, early initiation of procurement processes by user departments to allow adequate time for preparation of procurement plans, specifications, bidding documents, evaluation, and contract award. Secondly, we are strengthening procurement planning and coordination by aligning procurement plans with approved work plans, budgets, and project implementation schedules. 3, we are strengthening monitoring of procurement processes through regular follow-up of procurement at all stages to identify and address delays promptly. Honorable Chair, issue number 20 is SCDP. The report is attached. And our response, Honorable Chair, is that to identify on-farm production in 57 project districts, the project enrolled a total of 633,996 farmers into the e-voucher system to receive subsidized inputs. A total of 411,872 redeemed. That is 91.5% of target. 41% are female. Inputs worth 148 billion. Farmer contribution is 43.8 billion project contribution, and project contribution is 105 billion Uganda shillings. 2, in order to establish soil nutrient levels in the project area and inform selection of appropriate fertilizers, the project supplied 214 soil testing kits for use by the extension workers to test soils in the farmers' fields. 3, to promote value addition, a total of 358, representing 119% of the target, farmer organizations were awarded matching grants worth 110 billion, of which project contribution was 74.4 billion, with the farmer organizations contributing 36.1 billion. Of the 358 funded guarantees, 67 established only stores, 291 invested in both storage facilities and value addition equipment. Construction of the 358 funded storage facilities was completed, creating storage capacity of 84,869 metric tons. In terms of functionality, out of the 358 farmer organizations supported with the matching grants, 276 farmer organizations are operational, while 82 are not operational due to lack of power.
the ministry received a commitment from Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development to support power connection to facilities based on their available resources. There is continuous engagement with the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development to ensure these facilities are connected to the main electricity grid. 4, to improve market access, the project supported the rehabilitation of road chokes, a total of 345 road structures, 59 swamp sections covering 1,110 kilometers in the 57 project districts. Honorable Chair, number 5, in strengthening policy formulation, the regulatory function of the various technical departments of MAIF, the project renovated and expanded the National Seed Laboratory in Kawanda. The facility plays a crucial role in ensuring the quality and integrity of seeds sold to farmers. 6, the project equipped fertilizer analytical laboratory at Namalere with the modernized equipment, that's the analytical equipment, glassware, seed laboratory, consumables, analytical reagents, and standards and personal protective equipment. These are meant to test between 100 and 150 samples on a daily basis. 7, the project supported the installation of solar-powered irrigation systems at 7 Zadis. That is Bulindi Zadi in Hoima District, Mukono Zadi at Kamenyamigo in Luero District, Nabuyeni Zadi in Nakapilipiriti District, Abi Zadi in Arua District, Bujinyanya Zadi in Ikulwe, in Mayuge District, in Geta Zadi in Lira District, Rebitaba Zadi in Kabarole District. 8, Honorable Chair, 49 coffee farmers representing 98% of the target were supported with small-scale coffee irrigation systems. These have been installed and are functional. This has demonstrated and popularized the effect of irrigation on coffee production and productivity. Number 9, Honorable Chair, to control fall armworm, the project supported the construction of biocontrol facility for the mass rearing of biological control agent, National Crop Resources Research Institute at Namlonge. 10, the project developed and deployed 8 out of targeted 5 ICT systems. These include the e-extension system that enables access to extension advisories by farmers, and the e-diary component is for monitoring of the extension workers. 2, the mobile soil testing application, soil testing to identify missing nutrients and inform fertilizer use. There's also the ICDP information system that collects, stores, and manages the project data. And finally, the National Food and Agricultural Statistics System, the NIFAS, is an integrated data that collects and stores administrative agricultural statistics on all interventions undertaken by the ministry to enable planning and decision-making using factual data. It's accessible on that. Issue number 21, Honorable Chair, is on non-operational facilities. Our response, Honorable Chair, is that Musa Bode is indeed the only service provider who delayed to deliver on this contractual obligation, with a number of farmer organizations, about 10, including the 2 mentioned here. The ministry is engaging with the supplier to deliver the outstanding machinery to the farmer organization based on the roadmap they agreed to, failure of which the farm will be submitted to PPDA for blacklisting. Some farmer organizations are instituting legal action against the supplier, and the ministry will provide the necessary evidence. The ministry is also engaging with the World Bank to allow some resources from the ongoing Climate Smart to operationalize such facilities. Issue number 22, Honorable Chair, is supply of Robusta coffee seedlings, the CWDR variety. Our response, Honorable Chair and members, is that the ministry completely phased out the distribution of elite Robusta coffee seedlings, which were susceptible to coffee wilt disease after financial year 2022-23. Since then, the ministry has been distributing only the recommended coffee wilt disease-resistant Robusta seedling, an Arabica variety, to farmers. In financial year 2025-26, the government, through NARU, provided resources for the multiplication of CWDR coffee planting materials, which will also be decentralized at the zonal agricultural research institutes. In this way, the farmers will have better access to the seedlings under the policy arrangements, which, Honorable Chair and members, is subsidies on fertilizers and farm chemicals and grant-funded farmers' shops. Our response, Honorable Chair, is that the ministry has entered into an off-take agreement with Intracom Fertilizer Uganda Limited to support increased domestic production and availability of fertilizers in Uganda. The arrangement is expected to strengthen local fertilizer production, improve the reliability of supply, reduce dependence on imported fertilizer, and over time contribute to stabilizing and making fertilizer prices more affordable to farmers. Two, the ministry will continue to engage Intracom and other private sector investors to strengthen domestic production, blending, distribution, and market access for fertilizers. Increased local production and competition are expected to improve availability and contribute to moderating input prices, particularly where economies of scale and improved supply chain efficiencies are achieved. Honorable Chair, issue number 24 is fish hatchery, fingerlings, and feed making machines. Our response, Honorable Chair and members, is that this is in the ministry's strategic plan for 2026 to 2030. However, it's also being addressed under the Uganda Climate Smart Agriculture Transformation Project, where the ministry is enhancing the capacity of regional private hatchery producers across the country. Also, the government is establishing community ponds for groups in the Uganda Climate Smart Agriculture Transformation Project areas and shall have fish feed making machines. The ministry is also engaging Ministry of Finance to support the setting up of regional fish hatcheries to enhance availability and access. Honorable Chair, issue number 25 is EUDR registration and sensitization. Our response, Honorable Chair, is that the MAIF is on track to meet the European Union Deforestation Regulation compliance deadline of December 2026, safeguarding Uganda's continued access to European Union market for this strategic commodity. To date, the ministry has mapped and registered 1.65 million coffee farms onto the National Coffee Traceability System, against an estimated 4 million coffee farmers countrywide. To close this gap, the ministry has launched two complementary interventions. One is government-funded second phase, targeting an additional 1 million farmers to start in September 2026, and two, the World Bank-supported initiative under the Climate Smart to map a further 1 million coffee farms and 200,000 cocoa farms. Both interventions are expected to be completed by Q2 of financial year 2026-27, bringing to the total number of registered and traceable coffee farmers to 3,650,000 farmers, with the remaining farms to be progressively registered by government extension workers. Beyond farm-level registration, the ministry is onboarding coffee buyers, cooperatives, traders, and processors on the digital traceability system. 4,000 traders are already transacting on this platform, with a target of 10,000 value chain actors by end of Q2 of financial year 2026-27. This is complemented by the development of a national coffee traceability data warehouse, a secure ministry-controlled repository for all traceability data. On sensitization, the ministry has run radio awareness campaigns since January 2026. It has produced EUDR information materials in 5 local languages
and deployed coffee extension officers for community level engagements, supported by partners such as GIZ and Cafe Africa. The ministry plans to intensify sensitization of the public while collaborating with the MPs and district leadership. Honorable Chair, we wish to assure you that the ministry's EUDR compliance program remains firmly on track to secure Uganda's continued access to the European Union market and protect the livelihoods of the millions of Ugandan coffee farming households. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Minister, thank you. Back to you.
That's it, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much. So we'll go to the question time and interactions. So we'll go we could do 3 issues at a time, you know, 1, 2, and 3. If you have any issues in the first quarter, so please raise your issues here. Honorable members, there is issue 1 about climate change. We could start with issue 1 anyway. Yeah. Please, Honorable Mlindo.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Madam Undersecretary, you said in number 7.
Honorable Minister.
Honorable Minister, sorry. You said you constructed and rehabilitated valley tanks, dams, and fish ponds, but you didn't specify exactly which ones. Probably
which
issue 1.
Yes.
Response 3.
Okay.
Response 3. And then we go to response 5 regarding the criteria for allocating projects. You've been reading, but you don't provide specifics. You said on issue 5, response 5, and then you said affirmative action on non-water-stressed areas, the cattle corridor districts. Probably you need to tell us which cattle corridor districts included there. Then we go to issue 3 on earth-moving equipments for agricultural infrastructure. Honorable Minister, you have talked about the sets of equipments. May you also please tell us, are they excavators, bulldozers? What is in the set, so that if we go back in the constituency, you are able to raise the voice of the agricultural ministry.
Honorable Minister, we could do 3 people, 3 questions on this side, then respond. Any other?
Thank you very much, Chair. The Minister of Agriculture, first of all, I want to thank you very much for the irrigation scheme extended to Rwengaju sub-county in Kabarole district. But Right Honorable Minister, there is a sub-county in Kabarole district that we call a food hub called Harugongo sub-county. It produces most of the food that is consumed in Kabarole and beyond. This area needs irrigation scheme as well. So I pray that you consider it. And secondly, on mechanization of agricultural mechanization, in one of our inductions, I inquired why we do not have tractors for agriculture in Kabarole district, and I was told that there are very few or none member from Kabarole district owning 50 acres and above, which is one of the criteria. I was told that in order for a district to have tractors, that there should be many farmers owning 50 acres of land and beyond. But Minister, I would like to inform you that there are very many farmers with over 50 acres of land in Kabarole district, and I'm one of them. So I want to pray that when you're considering distribution of tractors, that you consider Kabarole district as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, Madam Chair. Through the Minister for Agriculture, I have only 3 issues. One, you stated in your presentation that there is an attachment for the distribution of hose, but I'm not seeing it. The list here. That's number one. I would have wanted to know where exactly the hose have been distributed. Secondly, I'm glad to mention that the Right Honorable Minister started from Nombe, which is in my area. The senior one. And you've mentioned about rehabilitation of dams. I want to bring it to your attention that Nombe, there is a dam that has been not rehabilitated for years, and it would be of use to help the people in that community. However, I also bring to your attention, I don't know whether it is you, Minister of Agriculture, that rehabilitated Chenshama Dam that is in my constituency. That dam, we spent over 15 billion as Ugandan government. I don't know whether it's Ministry of Water or Agriculture, but the complaints over that dam are so much. People have been calling, including letters written by LC1s complaining that there was nothing, the value for money was not recovered. Chenshama Dam. So I don't know whether it was Ministry of Water or it's you. Then the third issue, Honorable Minister, is about something that is very important, but you have clearly stated it about the policy shift of the coffee seedlings, and you even indicated in your presentation that you cannot measure how the parish development model is faring in terms of usage of funds. I've done a conclusive stakeholder PDM meeting in my constituency. I can state clearly here that the usage of fund is not measured. Why? Because of lack of community, lack of or educating the recipients. So it is on this note that I request that much as we are pushing PDM for financial inclusion and money economy into the people down there, when you look at my area, when I talk about Mbarara, people thinking that the 2 parts are well off. But my area, Honorable Minister, you understand it very well, is the area of the peasants. So PDM will not give me a lot of value in terms of promoting my people to get out from poverty. I would 100% say that if we provide coffee seedlings and hose, it would work very, very well for me in my area than pushing so much of PDM. Because when people get this money for PDM, they utilize it for their own payments of debts, drink a lot. So really I can state authoritatively here that PDM has not helped my area than what I expected. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable. Any other? Yes,
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Thank you very much, Honorable
Please
Minister.
introduce yourselves when you are...
Okay, I'm Professor Rubega Jojo Wile, representing Uganga South, Kakumira District. I want to comment on this issue of agricultural mechanization, especially for small older farmers and the rock areas like my home area. Are we considering small working tractors or mechanized hauls? Such a system really would benefit people instead of relying on large tractors, which really would not be useful to many farmers because of the terrain of the land. And on the, I have an issue, sorry to jump ahead, because I don't think how many times I'm going to come up.
No, you will get there. Let's do the first 3.
Okay, fine.
Because it will confuse them.
Thank you.
Yes. So, yes, Honorable. Introduce yourself to.
Patrick Kutosa Samaria. Thank you so much, Madam. It is on. Thank you so much, Madam Chair. I'd also like to thank the Minister and all his congregation for attending this meeting. As concerned partners for the committee, we are so happy because other people tried to fail to attend. Thank you to knowing our mandate. Right Honourable Minister, I would like to call, my concern is on mechanization centers. Since this project started, we are talking about agricultural mechanization centers. How many mechanization centers are in operation? Is Guantala finally operational? It's just a question. Guantala finally in operation? Guantala. Also another question is on water for production. Right Honourable Minister, there is a partnership between the Ministry of Water and Agriculture. If the Ministry of Water and Ministry of Agriculture agree on strategies, does what could be the Minister shares, the Minister of Agriculture agree on strategies on who does what? Could the Minister share with us, to share with this committee on what portfolio each is going to concern water for agriculture production? So far that is.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Now the Vice, then I could also.
Thank you so much, Chair. To the Minister, I have two concerns. When I check with this list on the distribution of tractors, I really want to thank you so much because you managed to distribute 3.4 million horses. On that, when you check on the list, I think the first phase, we concentrated on the central Uganda and northern Uganda. May I understand when you're coming to eastern Uganda and when will they also get this opportunity of receiving this horse? Then secondly is on the issue of tractors. What mechanism does the ministry follow in the distribution of tractors? Because many farmers indeed need tractors and we are ready to support you as the ministry to see that farmers in Uganda benefit from the tractors. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, of course, I'm also concerned about the framework, sharing the framework, because on water for protection, your partnership. Then number two is still under climate change, where you say 5, but Roman 4, where you say partnership with community development organizations like churches and what. How do you identify them? How do you, what criteria do you identify in allocating projects? That is on page 3. Yes, issue number 1, but page 3, Roman 4. How do you identify them? Then the other one is my concern about external funding. On page 4, where you say the ministry budget is largely dominated by external funding. Recently, we're going through these shocks, the war, the Middle East war, and all that. And of course, America cut down on a lot of funding. Isn't our budget affected by that? So that's all. So, Honorable Minister, you can respond to the questions. Issues 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, Madam Ameria, our chairperson. I think, colleagues, let me start with the chairperson. I hope it's in order. So our framework with water, okay, I'll summarize it and then we can submit a written document. So the conflict has always been, there has been talk that the Ministry of Water is for bulk water off farm and agriculture is on farm. And then quite often we would see each ministry doing what the other is supposed to do. Like now, Chen Shama, my brother from Kashari, is moved out. It is now, I'm told, it's under Ministry of Water. So we would be blamed for Ministry of Water's work, and they would be blamed for our work. So in this new term, myself and Honorable General Tafire agreed that let's see how to work together. So our last meeting, we agreed, number one, to form an interministerial working group. Number two, we agreed that no project of irrigation should be sponsored by each ministry alone. If it is water doing a project, agriculture must come in. Because some of the projects you will find not performing, I'm sure when you go to the field, you will find a project of irrigation, it is serving very few people. When you go back to check, the design was poor. Why was it poor? We, the users, were not involved. So there are those issues. So we have now agreed that Ministry of Water will concentrate on big water reservoirs where there is no water. And it is us to tell them that put it here, we need it for agriculture. They can decide it for human consumption, that's not our mandate. They can decide it for other things. But for agriculture, they will develop where we identify. Say Teso, Karamoja, here we need it, then they develop. Then taking the canals, the piping to the farms is also now our mandate. It's our mandate. Because now, Ministry of Water was going to register farmers. It's none of their business. These are the issues we were fighting over. Now, the famous dams of Karamoja, I'm sure some colleagues who were here before, even now why the head of service and our PS are there, it was because of the old conflict. There's a dam called Nakonyeny Dam. The clerk here may know the history. Ministry of Water was always wanting to do it, agriculture wanted to do it. So it was a fight. At one point, our people wanted to fight. We said, you people, stop the indiscipline. So now until we did the dam and water did another one. So we're going to write you and articulate it. Second, you can hold each one of us accountable. Yes, you can hold each one of us accountable through the relevant committee on who is violating what. How projects are decided, Madam Chairperson? First of all, for now, going forward, you see donors give you a project and they say, you can't cover the whole country. Some projects like, let's say relief, there's something called a resilient livestock project. So if it is a livestock, you choose the livestock districts, Karamoja, Teso, you call this Rukora area, Chiboga, Mubende, and then Ankole. Now if it is oil seed, is it oil seed? Oil seed and oil palm. It becomes obvious where the districts, which ones can do oil seeds, Lango, and like your project, Chris, which districts are involved? Quickly mention them if you can know them.
All of West Nile, Lango, Acholi, Karamoja, Teso, Bukedi, Ervo, Soba.
So ecology, the ecological condition of the region, it becomes a criteria on how you select the districts. But of course, going forward, we are pushing for projects that cut across. Like climate smart, not all districts are involved in climate smart, but at least every sub-region has one or two districts. For example, in my district with my sister, in our region, it is Kawarole and Kamwenge. Yes, not that because Kamwenge I am there, because I'm also missing on the hose. I'm seriously complaining they didn't give us hose. So every sub-region, we pick one or two. Yes. Then the loans, madam, we don't get grants as MAIF. It's loans. It's loans, and Ministry of Finance sources the loans from World Bank, IFAD, from mainly those are the agencies that we get the loans. Vice Chair, when we're coming to Eastern Uganda on the hose, we are waiting for money. Madam Mary, do we have any budget for hose this financial year? Huh? We have. Okay. Well, 15 billion. Yes. But maybe colleagues, the issue of hose, initially, I'm being honest with you, came up as a pressure point for Central Region. And it was presented by the Uganda caucus to the president. But of course, when the things came, they said, you must cover the whole country. So for us as MAIF, as we get money, we distribute. We distribute. And but also, that's for smallholder farmers. Yes. So Eastern Uganda will follow, and we continue to cover Bunyoro and other parts of the country. I don't think, Kashari, we need hose. You need hose? I am joking. So I hope the criteria I explained on how we choose projects. Then, Honorable Chief, my shadow. Now, Agwata should be operational, but partially, because of money and enough equipment. Because you see, for really this migration center to make sense, it must have a set. This set, you are asking me what is involved. They call it a long-hand excavator. It must have a bulldozer and the wheel loader which carries the equipment. It must have a backhoe. It must have a grader, minimum 1 or 2. It must have motorized rollers, the BOMAG. It must have 5 dump trucks, wheel load bed, 1 self-loader, drilling rig, water bowser, fuel trucks, chain loaders, maintenance truck, and of course pickup for the operators. That's a full set. So currently as MAIF, we have 5, only 5, yes. And their headquarters in Amarere, but they are always moving. So, yeah. So our intention is to move this to 20, and we'll make sure TESO has 1 unit, Central Buganda 1 unit, Karamoja 1 unit, Mbarara, we are trying to get at Sanga 1 unit, and so on and so forth. So Chiriandongo, the construction is going on, you will visit. Now Buama, when you reach Buama, you may be disappointed a bit, colleagues have to prepare you, so that you squeeze us very well. Buama, we started, but the land had issues. The land had issues, and we also have our internal fights to push to ensure that we get the land back. So somehow the expansion was halted. So it's quite of an issue. Our question is, why did we invest there if the land wasn't adequate? So we are trying to resolve that issue. But the whole issue is money. Because like this, when you study colleagues, Q1, you don't get money. And yet that's when you have a planting season. There's a time we had 50 billion, those who remember. They had put 50 billion, I think, the financial year as we went to elections. It was strictly for tractors. It was removed on the floor. So now we have to depend on the projects to buy tractors. When we buy tractors from the projects, we only distribute them in the project beneficiary districts. Like the tractors we will buy under that man's project, NOSIP, will go to West Nile, Lango, and wherever. We cannot distribute tractors under NOSIP to Mbarara. They will have to go to where the project is. But then, as I conclude, Professor, yes, small tractors, we have them. And through the chair, there's some good news coming to you. So the chair will advise on how we move on that. Yes. Yes. Honorable Kashar, my brother, Chenshama, I'm told it's Minister of Water, so we can ask Engineer Chimans to link up with you. Coffee seedlings and PDM, we are going to cabinet. My sister here is taking a paper to cabinet to try and you remember I hope all of you are members of the caucus. Those who are not members of the caucus, you forgive me. So when we were in Changwanzi, you remember what we discussed? I'm happy the president seems to appreciate that coffee seedlings cannot be handled under PDM. So let's move together and we see whether we can get either budget allocation. And but for now, we have some. Yes, we'll be very happy. So my sister Honorable Chirunj Kabarole, Harugongo, I agree. Harugongo feeds us. So I will send a team, Madam Mary. Let's send a team from Department of Water to Kabarole, Harugongo, to see what we can do. Yes. The tractors, of course, we've been giving the little ones we have. Like in Fort Potro, we gave some to our king, you know. We talk about 2 tractors, but they were put in at his demo farm in Chenjojo. So, the criteria for tractors, colleagues, it's not rocket science. Point number 1, a cooperative. A functional cooperative. If we have a tractor, we give it. Point number 2, if you yourself you are a farmer and able to maintain a tractor, because some farmers you give them tractors, they pack them. Some farmers, we have petitioners to go and withdraw them by force. Sometimes you feel embarrassed. Some sell them to Kenya. So now you send an MOU with the Nicholas farmer. You will prove that you have a need for a tractor. Churches, farmer cooperatives, and you normally recommend. We work with this committee closely and colleagues, and also ask the district to verify. But on that one, you will be our partners. Whatever we have, we will be asking you. Yes. And then I think that's it. I don't know anything. And then yes, my colleague from Bosongora, Kasese, wanted to see the fish ponds, the barrel tanks we've done. Isn't it in the annex? We had the annex. Yes, if the annex is not clear, we have the annex detailing that. And on the question, what is in a set of equipment, we have explained. Yes, and my team can feel free to add on, colleagues, ministers, if you have any point. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, any additions or supplements to that? If not,
Maybe Chair, on the issue of horse, if you or we as Parliament would also push government and it becomes a government decision that the entire country is covered once and for all, so that the question doesn't keep coming up almost now every quarter. Because now whoever will miss in this coming quarter, the member will ask that question again next quarter. So if we go by what is dispersed, we may need to take another 2 years distributing hose to the whole part of the country.
Vice had a question, but before that, I wouldn't like your sugar levels to go down. Please serve yourselves. For sure. We have some coffee, tea, fruits, fruits and bites. So through your Honourable Minister, your team can come and serve yourselves, please. Please feel free to do that, self-service. And then Honourable colleagues also, but let our visitors come first. Yes. Vice once, but you can continue while people come in to serve. Aren't you having a cup of coffee or tea? Please ask Vice.
Thank you so much, Chair. Through the Minister, the Undersecretary reiterated that they're working on ensuring that fertilizers are manufactured locally. Can she tell us the price of, for instance, 50 kilograms of fertilizers on the market before and after the war of Iran and US started? Huh? can I hear from the Undersecretary on that issue? Thank you.
Mary, if you don't have an answer, someone can help. What's the price of a 50 kg fertilizer now with these war interventions? Let the doctor help. Yes.
Through you, Honorable Chair, organic fertilizers are 90,000 Uganda shillings for 25 kilogram bag, and inorganic fertilizers are 150,000 to 170 for 50 kilogram bag. So these are maize, coffee fertilizers that are inorganic, go between 150 and 170, depending on the peak of planting or off-season or at different times of the year. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you very much. So now we can move on to issues 4, 5, and 6. 4 was quality seeds and planting materials, if you have any issues on that. 5, distribution of inputs under PDM. 6, fertilizers and productivity. 7, counterfeit inputs. And last mile delivery. So if you have questions in those areas, please do ask. Don't worry, even if you have asked before, you can go ahead. Yeah. But please don't be shy. Have a cup of tea. 3, Honorable Minister. Please have a cup of tea, some bites.
These girls can't be shy on eating.
Once again, my name is Musimbuzi Patrick. I wanted to find out on the issue of fertilizer. In the last presentation, I think through the committee, we were told that the Ministry of Agriculture has 90 billion or 9 for this financial year. So I just want to understand the criteria that you take to choose those that you provide fertilizers with. Thank you so much.
Yes, another one? Yes, Honorable.
Thank you very much, Chair. Honorable Minister, one day I attended a function of Arsenal fans. Yes, honorable members. These people, apart from celebrating their win, they had started a project, a fishery project. I got so excited because in Kabarole district, fish farming has not been taken seriously, and yet it is one of the biggest exports in the country, but also highly nutritious. So while celebrating, they allowed me to have a word or two with them, and I told them I would request for fish seeds for their association. I don't know whether fish seedlings can be got from the ministry or it is still going to be through PDM as communicated. But I would wish, if there is a chance, kindly give them fish seedlings so that they can possibly encourage other groups to begin the same associations. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I was requesting that for purposes of guiding, let's not lobby in this meeting. Let's ask questions that are related to. That's my request. Because if we go into lobbying, we shall not finish.
Okay. Then Honorable. But let's be brief. Honorable Pamela, she had put up her hand earlier.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Mine goes to issue 13, markets, value chains and middlemen. Right, Honourable Minister, why does NAIF still have no real price, market price information system at parish levels? What happened to the National Agricultural Information System promised under NDP 4 over the same
Honorable, let me guide. You have skipped to 13. We haven't got there. Let's stick to this. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's stick to issues up to. We do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then from there we'll proceed, because so that we give them time to. Yes. Then there is a factory that is producing, that is supposed to be producing fertilizers called Itracom, but it has taken so long. What are the issues? It is actually in PG. But I don't know why they've taken so long. Of course, they are still working on the infrastructure. They say they are working on roads, they are working on electricity and all that. But I thought those were supposed to be the government role. Why don't they start building? There is nothing there. And they've been there for almost 3 years. Yeah. Yes, Honorable Leader.
Thank you, Chair. On question number 4, response. Here they have indicated that there are no statistical abstracts for PDM beneficiaries. And in their response, because here we are requesting, I presuppose that the members of parliament or the local leadership or the leadership are the ones with the actual data who probably can simply tell that we have, these were the beneficiaries on ground. So that is why there is also a conflicting statement. There is a conflicting statement where we, on number 18, page 15, and I'm saying the statement, it conflicts with, here they are saying there are no statistical abstracts for beneficiaries of PDM, that's the lack of data concerning PDM, and now here they are saying women and youth are the priority beneficiaries of government support for household production and enterprise through under PDM. The reason why we don't have data, of course, it's not an excuse for us to give per se, but you see, PDM, the Secretariat of PDM, Madam Chair and colleagues, is under Ministry of Local Government. And you may have to, I'm sure they should be reporting to you. They are under Ministry of Local Government, so they have the data. Now, the data from the parishes is conducted by the parish chiefs. So we're just collaborating on enterprise selection, we are collaborating on advice on seedlings, but the actual data is with the PDM Secretariat. Now, why we say youth and women are served, it's because it's part of the criteria of PDM guidelines. Yes, it's not just an assumption, it's part. A certain percentage is mandatorily required to be served. Yes. Honorable Minister, data is a guiding tool. However much you are not a line ministry as local government. So here where you indicate that yes, it is true, youth and women are beneficiaries. But when you are giving out this, you are being guided by the data from Ministry of Local Government. So we should all be having, it shouldn't be written that there is no data as you indicate. Thank you.
Thank you for the guidance. Yes. So I think we're done, and we'll move on to the next section. We go to Itracom. I didn't get an answer.
Intracom, let's see, my sisters, and Intracom, I really honestly we need to engage the investor and know why. There was an excuse of water investment. I beg Madam we check it and we can follow it up together. Thank you.
It's typically water, and the Minister of Water yesterday in Cabinet promised that they are going to extend water to their facility, and then they will be up to the task. So Minister of Water delayed them a bit.
And we will tell the investor if they continue, because remember we give them an off-take. So if they don't start, we shall not continue to give them preferential procurement of their products from either Tanzania. Yes, so we really have to be tough on that, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. So let's go on to section issue 9, livestock disease and swine fever compensation claim. Crop pests and diseases, issue 10,
Madam Chair.
and 11, fisheries and aquaculture.
Madam Chair, my colleague Honorable had also asked about the fertilizer. I think it is also in that same line of intra-command, because how these fertilizers are going to be given out. This is it is almost like hose. It is Uganda which had asked, and then a few also other beneficiaries were considered. So even these few fertilizers which were procured recently by Minister of Agriculture, it was a presidential directive, and we have that directive written. The president directed that after interacting with tea growers in this country, they had issues of fertilizer, and that is one of the reasons which was affecting their productivity. So the leaf vis-a-vis the output was not really that good. So they asked the president, and the president wrote to Minister of Agriculture to get or to buy fertilizer, and in that effect give it to the farmers of tea. So all this fertilizer that is coming, it's really going to go to the tea farmers. But also, as earlier on my colleague Honorable Migad said, through the leadership of this noble committee, to really avoid these stresses of, especially even with our other honorable colleagues, this committee can also guide, and we come up with a national request. So at this time when MAIF may be procures, but that also comes with a budget advocacy, because what we have can't really buy for the entire country. So these are things we can look at with your recommendations and also support. We get a bigger budget and we buy fertilizers for all the different farmers, coffee farmers, and even other PDM farmers who are under fruits and vegetables. So these small quantities are going to the tea farmers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other questions? Yes, Papa.
Thank you, Chair. Issue 11, fisheries and aquaculture. The issue of the aqua park in Kalangala. The ministry had bought 22 acres of land for this project. They bought 22 acres. 15 of the out of the 22, 15 is in the lake. So we are left with like 8, 9 idle. Yes.
Submerged?
No, not really submerging, but that is what they bought. Now, the idle 8, the district is busy chasing encroachers on it because there is nothing taking place on the acres, the 8 acres. I saw the response was that the Ministry of Finance is busy pursuing recovery of the advanced funds. Is that enough? Can't we identify another contractor to take on the project as we recover the advances? Thank you.
Yes, Honorable.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Mine is also on fisheries. Honorable Minister, of late, many serious fish processing factories have been closed and relocated to Kenya and Tanzania. Is your ministry concerned about this? by now, we had over 20 serious fish processing factories in Uganda. But now the most operational, the ratio is around 4 factories to 5. How are we going to do about that?
Thank you so much, Chair. Prime Minister, I also want to say something on the fishing sector. Since my constituencies, I have very many fishermen who do fishing. Do you people have a sensitization team that moves around those areas where the fishermen and sensitize them mostly on the fishing gears, tools to be used? Because most fishermen keep on complaining. They are being arrested, but they are not given details on what types of fishing nets to be used, etc. So do you have a sensitization team as the ministry over that issue? Thank you.
My concern is about the extension team. I am a fish farmer, but I rarely see any extension worker coming to visit our farms. In fact, we are several fish farmers, but we work in isolation. Nobody comes to visit, very rarely. So how do you keep your database? How do you know how many farmers you have in an area? Secondly, as much as I appreciate the UPDF enforcement, now this one is on the lake, I think we need to harmonize our thinking between the farmers, the fishermen and the enforcement. Because sometimes the enforcement is a bit high-handed, and as a result, the fishing industry suffers in those respective areas. How do you expect to harmonize this relationship in future? Honorable Malidu.
Thank you, Chair. This is maybe Honorable Minister, the last time I came to your office, I need you to be now categorical on the issue of vessel numbers. Immediately as I had left the door of your office, the Kasese District Fisheries Officer called in again people and opened up licensing for the 33 vessel numbers. Two, they have, and the 33, it's the new sequence of numbers that had been given during the directive of the UPDF. Now, people are worried. There are these historical numbers that they have been in existence from 1942. Like I've always said, talk to you about how the Waganda who came from Sese and came and became fishermen in Katwe Kabatoro. Now, in the assessment criteria, all the landing sites of Kasese are on a parish, except Katwe Kabatoro Town Council is on a town council, and they are also given 33. So, the local economics has been the population of 10,000, 11,000, they are given 33, and the population of 3,000 are given 33. So I want you to give a firm statement over the development of fishing vessels on that. Then lastly, Honorable Minister, I know you've ever heard of what was called the Uganda Fishing Marketing Corporation, the TAFMAC. It was a marketing body. It was established in Kasenyi, in a sub-county called Lake Katwe. It had property. So, may I know where is the property in that effect? Because it was last time when we were with the chairperson was saying that much of long-time government properties, people have acquired land titles. So the TAFMAC land and that facility was a very significant property of government, the Uganda Fishing Marketing Corporation. And it had so many assets, including land and the factory. Fishing was booming when we were growing up, and per se, at that time,
all the fishing areas of Kasese had Uganda Commercial Bank, but of today, they are just circles. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Professor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to raise again this issue of FMD vaccine cost discovery policy. Whereas some regions are okay, they can afford the cost recovery and pay. Is it 10,000? But the big part of the country, the bigger part of the country, people cannot afford. And this raises a concern that you are leaving a very big reservoir of the disease, whereby the spread will start from. I don't know whether there can be a compromise policy to cater for poorer farmers. Thank you.
Honorable. Yeah, the last one, then we
move on
to the next.
On road chokes. You've mentioned it clearly, it's not your mandate to maintain roads, but you talked about road chokes. And I'm picking interest to know how many, maybe kilometers, can you be able to do in an area that is in need of road choke? Thank you so much.
Honorable Minister, can you respond please to the issues? Then we move on to the next cluster.
The bulk of the questions, my brother Robert Mugade, we call him the lake